Hey, fellow freaksters, it's Tim from the Moratorium. Just here to remind you that if you enjoy what you hear, please like, share, and subscribe, then rinse and repeat. We're just a couple of small-town nerds trying to make sweet geek love to your ear holes, and we could use your support. Check out our website for movie reviews, links to social media, merch, movies, and more. You can find us at themoratorium.com. Now that that's out of the way, on with the shenanigans. Welcome to the Yarn Wall, a mini moratorium. I'm your host, Tim Kornman. On this episode, Jason and I take a long, drunken dive into the depths of IMDb. This is where we break down the last week's film and follow the yarn to make the thinnest and slightest connection to our next movie. It's kind of like a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game with slurred speech and double vision, which can only explain the sudden jump into the middle of the thread of the conversation that is the Yarn Wall. Alan Fudge alert.
He looks like an assassin.
A backup dancer for Prince.
Everything explodes. Mayhem and destruction. I'm calling this Tuesday.
All right, we're live.
Okay. Oh, my levels look good.
My levels look good.
I put a helium filter on that last.
You like that?
I'll be talking like the Lollipop Guild for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm. Can you really...
Can I sustain that voice? No.
Oh, thank God. Okay,
You're really worried.
I was really worried.
All right. Well, I've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, man, I hope this... I mean, I do too, and I wonder,
Is this going to be a 6-part series of yarns?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I'm very excited about my guy that I picked this week. It's one that we've talked about him before many, many times. He deserves a deep dive.
Right. Oh, Alan Fudge.
Oh, damn it, Fudgy.
The Fudge Meister. Hey, Fudgy.
Hey, Fudgy Pants.
Are you making copies over there? You know he was called Fudgy.
Well, had to be. For having a busy week, I've actually watched a lot of TV this week. So
great.
Let me start with saying that my boss sent me an article from Collider. Okay, this is from July 21st of this year, written by Drew Taylor. The 15 scariest Disney movies ever made.
Okay. Watcher in the Woods, right?
There's one. Yeah.
My personal favorite.
And actually there's some things in here that are kind of questionable in my sense.
What, like Fantasia?
Fantasia's in the list. Yes. The Skeleton Dance from 1929.
I think I've seen that. It is kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think I've seen it as a video to another, some electronic song, and
that sounds familiar. Yeah,
yeah, that makes it creepier. But
Pinocchio's on the list.
Yeah, for some reason I saw the Jonathan Taylor Thomas version of Pinocchio lately.
You say?
I don't remember why. It was
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. That's how you pronounce it, right? Pinocchio.
It's spelled P-E-E, Nocchio.
It's Italian for penis nose.
Little known facts. We're here serving up the facts.
Mm-hmm. And those are facts.
Did you just do the quotes around that?
Yes. You couldn't see me, but I was. Pinocchio used to scare me as a kid. The part where they're stuck in the whale and when they go to whatever, when they get turned into donkeys or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, basically, it's just a story about, it's a wooden boy.
The story about a liar, a complete and total liar.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad made the list. That was 1949.
I don't know what that is.
It's a cartoon. It's a Sleepy Hollow cartoon there.
I know what it is, but I only know it because of the ride.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. How about Escape to Winch Mountain?
I'm not I don't.
You don't know that one?
I'm sure I've seen it, but I don't recall watching it a lot as a kid.
Eddie Albert was in it.
Mm.
But what was the chick's name? The chick is the chick from Tough Turf. Damn it, I just had her name. Don't make me look her up. Kim Richards.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't know. Gotta get my eyes on her. Now, see, every time I knew that they made a remake, so like every time you search for it, it's of course The Rock.
But I think did she not return for that as well? I think she.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Race to Witch Mountain. She played Tina. There we are. Tough Turf. Yeah. Kim Richards.
Well,
I thought she had been in a lot more. I guess she was more of a child actress. And then around 1990, she just disappeared.
Was she in Airplane? Yeah, Tough Turf. We got to do that.
I've watched that movie over and over again.
It just looks like the untoughest of turfs, especially with James Spader.
It's called Toughless Turf.
Yeah,
that they just reduced the name to make it easier to put on a billboard.
That's a weird looking. The boy in that's weird looking. I don't like it that he has his shirt off in one of those.
Yeah.
I don't have any memory of this movie. I
Of Tough Turf?
I know of it. No, of A Return from Witch Mountain.
It's Escape to Witch Mountain, which I always got wrong because I was like, why would they be going to Witch Mountain? They want to be getting away from. I was wrong.
So wait a minute. Am I looking at it? Was there a sequel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the wrong one. It's got Bette Davis and Christopher Lee, but it does have Kim Richards in it.
The first was Escape to Witch Mountain.
Okay.
That was 1975. And then Return from Witch Mountain was 1978.
Okay.
So
I'm just saying, why would you?
Yeah, it makes no sense. You're escaping to Witch Mountain, but you're returning from Witch Mountain.
Yeah. Okay, so it is the same girl in both of those movies. Oh, Donald Pleasant.
Yep.
I'm
going to bring him up a little bit later myself.
Great. R.I.P. Well, anyway, this girl has been in something else.
What, you talking about Kim Richards?
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Is she in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No.
Well, come on.
She was in The Car.
Yeah, she's in Assault on Precinct 13, too.
She had to be young in all of these movies.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's still... Oh, well. I know her face, and I just... She was Nancy Liu in The Dukes of Hazzard.
The picture that she has up on IMDb... she's had a lot of work done.
I guess.
But I guess she had a big run on, what was it? The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or bullshit, really? Whatever. But, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, that would mean that she has one of the better, child actor.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just got way, way too deep into
Tough Turf,
escaping to and returning from,
and then in Tough Turf when Robert Downey Jr. I think he got bit by a dog in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, either he had dogs or he got bit by a dog. But there was something to do with Robert Downey Jr. and dogs. That's what I got for you.
Oh, man, that is so provocative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to know.
There's a sex scene with Kim Richards that is, it's very obvious it's a body double.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
With who? James Spader?
I think so. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
He's just a creep.
Yeah, right?
He plays a good creep.
Yes, he does. It's just, I don't know how the way I feel about him is strange. I would never want to meet him.
No?
You know what I mean? I don't think he played a good guy.
He played smarmy so well back in the day.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is like, has he ever been in a role that isn't just dripping with like smirky sarcasm? I guess.
He was in Endless Love.
I don't know what that is.
That's Brooke Shields.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Moving right along.
Yeah, that's all I know. And next.
Okay.
Anyway, scariest movies. Continuing here. The Black Hole made the list. Other notables, Watcher in the Woods, Dragon Slayer.
Oh, right. With the, what's his face, you know?
Is Vigo.
Yeah.
Peter McNichol.
He keeps popping up.
Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Oh, right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Which I would really love to go back to that.
I have seen it in the last few years.
Does it hold up?
Yeah, for the most part. It's not as scary. I mean, not as like, I just remember watching that movie and being like, that was my first like taste of mortality or something. Like, yeah, you will die. People are going to die.
If you get on a carousel.
If you go to a haunted like carnival, of course that's going to happen. It was kind of their fault for being there.
Yeah. So we've got Frankenweenie, The Black Cauldron.
Oh, man.
Return to Oz.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about it, and I have like seen like scenes from it. That's the one with Perusa Ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I tried to read the book as well, and I did not enjoy it.
I mean, for some reason, a lot of people cite the kind of copper-looking robot weird guy with the mustache as the scary thing from that movie.
Okay, yeah.
But I haven't seen it enough. You know, I don't know if that's... Well, no, it doesn't look very scary in the still pictures.
No.
Nope,
but they also list Hocus Pocus in here, which I don't know if I've seen it all the way through. I refuse to watch it ever again.
I've been told that I needed to watch it by women.
I'm telling you not to watch it.
Thank you.
Okay. But it has ruined, you can't think of the word amuck without thinking about this movie.
Why is that?
Because the horse in it, the mule, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay, wait a minute.
She dances around saying amuck, 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 and it's just
That sounds really annoying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then meanwhile, the other girl is Peggy Hill.
Kathy Najimy.
I think so.
And Bette Midler with some weird beaver teeth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't want to watch it. Can't make me.
Well, you just gave us 3 reasons never to watch that.
Anyway, I just wanted to break that down as 15 scariest Disney movies ever made.
Was that 15?
No, I didn't mention they had Dead Man's Chest.
Don't know it.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I see.
And there was a cartoon called Runaway Brain.
Okay.
It was a Mickey Mouse short, I guess. Anyway, I might have to check that out because he looks very deranged. That was 1995.
Oh, yeah.
So it was attached to the movie Kid in King Arthur's Court. and it played with a Goofy movie.
Okay, good to
All
know.
right. Yep.
You ever want to check those out?
Yep. You never know. We're just giving all sorts of information out here.
Yep.
And this is free.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to. You could, but you don't have to pay for this.
That's right. All right. I think I'm done. Welcome to the yarn wall.
Oh, I thought you meant you were going to commit suicide.
Yep.
I'm done. This whole time I've just been tying this noose.
Yep. I'll just be dangling the rest of the pod.
It's good for your lower back, kind of like decompresses all that stuff. Decompresses?
Sure. And I got to talk about a girl in traction here in just a little bit. So it's just is
it a happy
interesting
story?
Beep bop bop.
Oh, did you just turn into a robot?
Anyway, I'm your host, Tim Kornman.
Oh my gosh. And I'm Jason Walker. We haven't introduced ourselves yet?
No.
I guess we just did.
Yes, and that's probably a record.
Longest bullshit before we...
Well, this episode is going to be chock full of bullshit.
You say you've got kind of a lot on your plate for this one, and I do too. So I will have to see it. We might as well just get right into it, And this is also, do we have anything to say about, what was last week's episode?
Class of 1999.
Oh, right. Is there any loose ends there, or we pretty much wrapped it up?
There are lots of loose ends. None in which I will be bringing up.
Okay.
So.
Oh, thank God. Edit that part out.
I go through YouTube a lot to find supplemental videos to go along to post on our. If you want to see my videos that I post, you can find us on Twitter, our Facebook page. I even put it on Instagram. I do the triple whammy, the trifecta. Wow. I'm going through and finding different supplemental videos of just clips from the movie that we watch, just to make it fun and interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm always looking for new stuff, so I'm digging a little deep. And I come across this. I didn't know this existed. I guess there are women that are posting videos under the guise of whatever. I think one of them was traveling gypsy girl, or I don't know what it was. Okay. But she's wearing very revealing clothing.
Does Spider-Man show up?
No.
Okay.
No. It would be much better. They're just talking and moving the camera so you can slightly look down their shirt. You can see through their shirt, whatever. I don't understand, but these videos have millions of views.
Okay.
I mean, you're not going to see a nip unless it's through a shirt, but because it's YouTube.
Right.
But I don't know why YouTube, you can watch all sorts of cannibal movies, which show, a native railing a pig, but it's beside the point. But anyway, it's just millions of views. I'm like, oh, how are they getting this many views? Well, it's just horny guys wanting to look, at a girl who's, slightly showing off some stuff. My point being is that...
Let's get to the point.
I wrote a paragraph on this.
This really... You've found your new fetish.
I'm kind of fascinated because we're there on video and getting millions of views, and we're the audio version because we are definitely a couple of boobs on the radio trying to get people to listen to us. That was my joke.
Okay. That you're done?
That's it.
Can I say something?
Reel it in.
I don't get it.
That they're getting millions of views, or that why did I bring it up in the first place?
I think you lost me at nipples. And then I was like, Tim just said nipples. Because I'm kind of going along with you, and then I'm like, what are we talking about?
I'm just talking about videos on YouTube that are getting tons of views for offering very
little.
Very little.
I see.
We work at this, and we're getting at the same point. I want to thank our listeners.
Yes, thank you. If you're still there.
Hello, are you there?
Is this thing on?
Hey, let's do a shout out to all of our listeners. But
yeah, thank you.
We have a following for some reason in California and in Virginia and Texas, and of course our home state, Oklahoma.
Right.
But we're getting all sorts of numbers all over the place. We appreciate you tuning in and listening to us, especially when we just rattle on about nipples.
Which probably has happened more than once, do you think?
Well, nipples?
Yeah. Surely that's not the first time we've said nipples.
No, probably not. So, class of 1999, you have anything to offer from this?
Nope. I think we pretty much said it all. Although I kind of feel bad that I brought up Billy Drago from the last one, and
because that was Bradley Gregg's stepfather.
No,
is that what we said?
That was Burroughs, the other kid.
Oh, gotcha.
His father,
Darren E. Burroughs.
Yeah. Anyway, that guy is really interesting, and I'll bring him up later. But the guy that I wanted to talk about today is just. The way that I kind of came upon him was kind of serendipitous, so it just had to be this guy. So. But I'll get back to Billy Drago one of these days.
I can't wait.
But yeah, other than that, I got nothing.
I do have a little bit tied into class of 1999, but I'm going to wait till later because it's going to come back around.
Part of your dude?
Yes.
Okay. Or gal?
Although my dude is not from
this earth.
Class of 1999. So.
Is it Timothy Busfield?
Oh my God. Are you reading my mind?
Really?
No, it's not him.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to guess every time. And I just can't wait until and don't cheat and just go to I want it to be fair.
I was pretty sure that your guy is going to be Robert Culp. No, because I looked him up, but he didn't have enough interesting stuff. My guy is actually pretty damn interesting. I'm pretty happy with him.
In Robert Culp's trivia, it's just like face actually made of leather. A neat fact about him. The hand woven.
Played a saddle in Gunsmoke.
I think skin was different back then. That doesn't look like that now. So.
Let me go into my brief, probably not so brief tangent.
Okay.
Now I'm starting a tangent.
Okay, I'm just going to sit back and let it wash over me.
Did you have a chance to look at the video nasties list?
No, I didn't. I was very interested in that because I don't think I've ever actually seen a official.
Here is from IMDb, the complete 72 band titles list.
Wow. 72 of them.
And I don't know if they've listed them in any kind of order. The Burning is on this list.
Okay.
And I don't know why The Burning would be on a band list. Is this all because of the United Kingdom? I don't know.
It was during VHS, right? It's just like band, like cassette tapes, right? That they just pulled off the shelves and stuff.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
And this one, in The Burning, it says it was released with 19 seconds cut from it in 1992.
And this is Tom Savini and Jason Alexander's in it. And it's Cropsey? I always get his name wrong. Cropsey is...
Yes, it's Cropsey.
It is?
Lou David played Cropsey.
Huh. Well, because then there's that, documentary about the...
Right.
Yeah. So
called Cropsey.
Right, called Cropsey. So you could see where I would be a little confused. It doesn't seem like that's a common name. Is that his Christian name? Cropsey?
Maybe so.
Cropsey W. Satherton?
I don't know if this is going to give us any information, but The Burning found itself at the center of some controversy in the the early 1980s, when the uncut version of the film was released on videotape by the British video label Thorn Emmy.
Okay.
The company was supposed to release the slightly trimmed version passed by the British Board of Film Classification. The tapes were impounded under the Obscene Publications Act, and the burning was added to the video nasties list. Two major scenes of contention were Cropsey's frantic mass murder spree in the Raft Massacre sequence, and the slight pair of scissors piercing a woman's flesh in the post-title sequence. So,
okay.
Anyway, it just kind of
interesting.
So, but there's a lot of cannibal movies in this, in this list. I'm not going to go through this list.
Man, it really has got some. Not all of these are banned just for violence. They're banned for weird sex stuff too.
Maybe so. We've got on the list House by the Cemetery.
Yeah.
Covered by us in the moratorium.
And I can vouch that it definitely is a video nasty. The Beyond also is one of them.
Oh, yeah. We got House on the Edge of the Park. I Spit on Your Grave. Faces of Death is on this list.
Yeah.
Last House on the Left.
Yeah. I agree with all of these. They should be banned.
But I will be going through some of these just to check them out. I mean, there's several things that I like to see. It's just a reason for me to go back through the Italians.
Yes. The Italians.
I miss the Italians.
Well, there's one in particular that I really, that's just one of my favorite movies. And it's not part of a trilogy or anything. It's just standalone, but so good and so gross. So gross. I mean, Peter Jackson would be like, that is gross. So one of these days, it's just all got to line up quite.
What's the movie?
It's a movie called Demons.
Okay. Dude, The Funhouse is on this list. Night Warning, which we talked about.
Yeah.
The Boogeyman 2.
Those always confuse me.
The Boogeyman was, he was in the mirror and the mirror was shattered. Yeah.
I need to revisit those Boogeyman movies because I must have just been getting them mixed up with other movies.
So interesting.
Cool. Yeah. Well, it's a good little resource to pick things from every once in a while.
But not that I meant to pick on the very first movie on this list.
Okay.
But I saw it and I had to watch it.
Okay.
It's called Absurd.
Okay.
And it reads, a priest doctor chasing a man with supernatural regenerative abilities who has recently escaped from a medical lab reaches a small town where the mutant goes on a killing spree.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Now just reading the people in it, I'm not looking it up just yet, but, Joe D'Amato is the director, and he is responsible for some real pushing the envelope of what is just
watchable,
revolting. And when I see his name, I know what I'm in for. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And in that little description, it says that he did Anthropophagus. And it also says that George Eastman... no spoiler alert for anything, but it says that George Eastman plays the killer, which, he's been in a couple of those movies that we've seen already. And he's a handsome, you don't look at him and think like deranged killer, but.
He also played in Anthropophagus. Can't even fucking say it.
You know what? I've been saying Anthropophagus, and I'm seeing here it's Anthropophagus.
This was considered, I don't know how, as part 2.
Absurd is the sequel to Anthropophagus.
That's what I read in some of the weird stuff.
Who knows? So. I mean, who knows? The Beyond and that trilogy, it is only bound together by the loosest of plots,
But Joe D'Amato is, he's given us lovely cinema, such as Porno Holocaust.
Oh, man.
Cannibal Love.
Okay.
A Lustful Mind. I watched a trailer for Zombie 5 called Killing Birds.
Yes, I don't know. That's another one where it's just like they're just cashing in on the one before. They have nothing to do with each other.
And really, it wasn't about the birds. It looked like there was an actual killer.
Right, exactly. It's got an awesome cover art for that DVD.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe Anchor Bay or Blue Underground, one of them, like put that one out, and it was really cool. That's why I was always so confused about Zombie, just the original Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think it was Anchor Bay, like when they repackaged it, it's actually Zombie 2. Anyway, that confused me for a long time.
And will still confuse you.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I will not remember that I've said this.
But it looks like Joe D'Amato has done a ton of adult films.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He's kind of like, what's that guy, like a porn director that they let him make a couple of mainstream movies. Tinto Brass, I think he did Caligula. And
okay.
I mean, Caligula is basically a porno with just like some really disturbing imagery in it. Mm-hmm. That's a gross movie, guys. Don't watch it.
I think I tried once and I turned it off.
It's not great. I think that was Tinto Brass. I don't know.
So anyway, I watched Absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be a little absurd. George Eastman has no dialogue in it. He grunts. He's like Frankenstein's monster.
Interesting.
And it actually opens on him being chased down the street by this priest/doctor.
Okay.
That's your cold open, is just running down the street.
You know that it's George Eastman? Does he have the hair?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got the beard, and he's a good-looking guy. He's like 6 foot something, like 6'6".
It fascinates me that all these movies that he's in, they all are from, I mean, they're just like boom, 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 one after the other, you know? During that little portion of like the 70s, he was just like knocking it out.
Mad with it.
But he's usually the good guy.
So the priest is chasing him down. George Eastman tries to climb over a fence that has the spiky things on it. Yeah. Some wrought iron fence, in which the priest grabs him by the ankles and kind of pierces his guts by pulling him down.
Ow.
He still made it over the fence and
perforated
into the house, where he kind of just falls over with his guts spilling out.
Ew.
Right? They take him to the hospital. There's a long scene in the operating room where they're trying to fix him. All right. And basically it's like they've got some steakums and some barbecue sauce like on his abdomen.
Yeah.
And they just keep picking at it and kind of, suturing it together.
Some craft services. Laid some brisket on his tum-tum.
Anyway, he later comes back to life. They talk about how, he healed so quickly. The priest ended up talking to the police, and it doesn't really explain how he has these regenerative powers.
Okay.
Well, George Eastman grabs a nurse and grabs a neat little handheld drill.
It looks like an ice pick.
Yeah. It's like a 12-inch bit.
Yeah.
And slowly just goes into her temple and out the other side.
That's pretty cool.
The scene takes forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching right now.
Yeah, it kind of takes you to Bob getting the drill in the head and City of the Living Dead.
Yeah, there's also in Zombie, there's a really kind of like prolonged scene where the titular zombie punches through a door, and I think that's Zombie, punches through the door and grabs the girl's head. And then there's like a long sequence where her face is getting closer and closer to this giant like splinter of this wooden door.
Right.
And then it kind of pokes through and just kind of.
Yes, I've watched that scene several times. Although I haven't seen the movie all the way through, I've watched that scene.
And I believe that the actress is one of the girls from one of the other Italian movies that we did. Mm-hmm. But that is hilarious. What you just described is hilarious because it's like they think he's like Wolverine or something because he healed himself from just kind of getting poked in the tummy on the, That sounds like something that would happen in elementary school, and the school nurse would just kind of like put a Band-Aid on it. And you know what I mean? I don't think people are getting disemboweled by those little things at the tops of chain link fences. It says here that he's been genetically enhanced. Is there no scene of that occurring?
No precursor to that. And interesting enough, this reminded me of Silent Rage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just looking it up. Silent Rage was 1982.
Interesting.
So a year after this. Kind of interesting.
Man, that movie is crazy, dude. Chuck Norris has a freaking van.
I wish that they would have made a sequel. I really...
Yeah.
They left it wide open for a sequel.
Yeah. Silent but deadly.
Yeah.
Or, wait a minute.
So the house that George Eastman comes to and falls down before they take him to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, he's going back to that house. He escapes from the hospital and he's walking back to that house.
Okay.
There's a group of motorcyclists that go by and one of them stalls out and he's messing with his bike. So George Eastman's coming up nice and slow to try to attack him and gets hit by a car. In which the guy in the car just keeps on driving.
Yeah.
Kind of pulls out next to him and keeps on going.
Right.
And that is the father of the family that the house from the beginning.
So he was like going to work and just kind of like, just like, I wonder what that was.
They're at like a key exchange party, him and his wife.
Oh,
and
of course they are.
He just kind of comes out and says something like, well, what do you mean I'm acting weird? I just hit a guy with my car this afternoon.
Yeah.
You never told your wife before this. Right. You're just like, well, since we're getting ready to get hot and heavy with this couple, maybe I should tell you.
Yeah.
I plowed a guy this afternoon with my car.
A real boner killer, that one. He should have waited until afterwards. He knew that he hit a guy, and he knew that he committed a hit and run.
Yeah. Yeah, drove home.
Yeah, everybody in Joe D'Amato movies, they have no saving grace. No, they're all just horrible, despicable people.
And I don't think that this isn't any different in this case.
Right.
So the daughter upstairs, she's in what I can only assume is a medical traction bed.
Okay.
She has got a brace around her neck that is adjustable with a chin strap that is tied to the headboard to keep her straight. Oh. And she's also got a lap band around her waist. It's strange. They keep coming up and talking to her, and they don't explain what's wrong with her.
Right. I assume the dad didn't know didn't see where he was going and ran her over. There's your bad guy. That's the villain of the. Also, they were having the key party and downstairs while she was up there, or is this a different house?
They went to a different house, but while they were at the different house, before George Eastman makes his way back to the house and starts killing more people, which he goes after the babysitter. I'll get to that in just a minute. But they can see the house. I mean, there's two scenes where the wife looks up and it looks like she's looking at a wall, but they show a view of their house up on the hill and the lights go out. And she's like, oh, I guess they're going to bed. And later she looks up. It's like, I guess they didn't go to bed after all.
I guess they're playing Super Mario Kart. Is it a creepy house, like a psycho house or something?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool house. It's huge. So George Eastman makes his way back to this house somehow, and he goes after to kill the babysitter. I failed to mention there's a little boy by the name of Willie, of course.
Oh, is he played by
horribly dubbed little boy and he's got an afro. He's got some big boss curly hair. And he almost gets run over by the priest later when he's running to go get some help. Just the priest is driving around. The police are just driving around.
Yeah.
They have no clue on where George Eastman is.
Right.
And they do nothing to really further the story other than they're just looking.
Okay. That tracks.
Okay.
If the other movies we've watched are any indication, then yeah, Italian police are pretty ineffective.
Inept.
Bad at their job.
He gets the babysitter. And do you have this movie queued up? It's on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it.
I was looking at it on YouTube.
You can watch the entire movie on YouTube.
Wow.
The babysitter scene is, oh my God, there's a whole lot of nothing going on for the longest time.
Oh, yeah.
An hour 15 into the movie, the slowest death of all, George Eastman forces the babysitter's head into the oven and turns it on. And holds her in there.
Yeah, she's got to preheat. This is going to take a minute. 45 minutes later.
It keeps going back to the burner and then goes back to her struggling and then the burner and then struggling. And, her face touches the side and she's, and struggling. It goes on forever.
He's just going to kind of slow roast.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to get her at a 250 after a few hours,
Is that your recommended for cooking babysitters?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And fall right off the bone. I'm looking at this first scene and I'm having a hard time. That does not look like George Eastman, but just because I've never seen him with a beard on.
Oh, is that it?
Wait a darn minute.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to throw a whole bunch of monkey wrenches in here, but I'm watching a scene where a guy is shooting this guy and he's just, coming after him kind of Frankenstein. It's the bandsaw scene.
Oh, that one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I glossed right over that.
Well, the guy that is putting this dude through this bandsaw is for sure not George Eastman.
No?
No.
So George Eastman makes it to it looks like it's a primitive butcher shop.
Okay.
I don't know. But I like that scene. It just goes on forever too. Sliding this guy up this table to put him into a bandsaw.
It is very reminiscent of, do the years match up? Did City of the Living Dead before this?
I think it's probably about the same time. I think it was 80.
It is. It's 81. That's interesting because I wonder how much Joe D'Amato. I need to look up his story because I know a lot about, Fulci and Argento, but I've never really looked that deep into this guy. All I know is that he did a movie called Beyond the Darkness where kind of a rich kid and his nanny. I don't know if that's the proper.
Are you talking about My Tutor again?
No.
Okay.
No, not again. I will bring it up from time to time. Anyway, Beyond the Darkness was really gross. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Was that in the 80s?
Very disgusting. Yeah, 80s. I don't know exactly what year, but...
there it is. Beyond the Darkness, 1979.
Oh.
A disturbed young embalmer digs the grave of his recently deceased girlfriend and brings her body to the family villa with help from his strange housekeeper. With his bouts of insanity are just beginning. He just digs up his girlfriend and takes her back home. Okay.
Yeah. But
what's he do with her?
The thing is, gosh, I don't know why I'm not thinking of the right word. It's not his nanny. It's his, there's another term for that fits it better, and I can't think of
tutor.
She does everything. I guess nanny is just the American equivalent. I can't think.
She's like Alice off of Brady Bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of a live-in housekeeper type. Okay, sounds good. But anyway, she's actually, when you watch the movie, she's sort of the driving force. She's helping him have these kind of psychotic breaks, but there's some cannibalism in it, and maybe that's what sticks in my mind so much. But I distinctly remember trying to eat something while I was watching one of those scenes and turning it off and just kind of brushing my teeth and then not watching the end for another couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, we'll just say this bandsaw scene and absurd, though, it is pretty cool. It is kind of bloody. I mean, there's not a lot of death in this movie.
The YouTube video that I'm watching is just called "Absurd: All of the Death," and
okay.
I think it says there are 10 altogether.
Okay, well, that's actually more than I thought.
So that's pretty decent.
Nice little body count.
I'm looking at this guy that is the main character. You know, he's the killer. At least in the bandsaw scene, that is not George Eastman. It is another actor that I have seen in. He's in a couple of these, like Mad Max kind of rip-off, like Italian Mad Max movies, like Escape 2000 and Warriors of the Wasteland and stuff like that. And all it is just cars with stuff glued to them, and they just kind of, you know, drive around in circles and kill people. But he is like the main villain in that movie. And I'm just...
You don't think that
I don't think that guy is...
Are you sure
George
this isn't
Eastman.
one of George Eastman's aliases?
It's possible. Was he on the run?
Maybe.
That'd be cool if he like made all these movies because he was, you know. But anyway, I'm sorry, but I digress.
He was in several as Luigi Montefiore.
Okay.
Alex Carver, Richard Franks.
Wow. He's got a lot of okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm with you now. I'm looking at him now. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Tall guy with the beard is Georgie.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just all these.
They all look the same.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but like it seems like, yeah, I get it now. He just looks so different. It is him.
I've never seen Anthropophagus, though. I'm gonna have to go back to that now.
But you know, you and I used to live together for a little while, and I remember buying that movie from, gosh, I don't even remember. You know, at the time when there were like huge, you know, we would go to like Sam Goody or something to like get, you know, DVDs, whatever the newest DVD, and this was a cheap one. And you know, it's just got that guy on the front eating his own guts.
Yes.
Which is, that scene does happen, I think, like towards the end of that movie, but it's awful. It's so bad. That might be why, if we even watched it together, that might be why you don't remember it, because it was just, I guess you're just trying to get to that scene, because that is a cool scene, you know, like.
You want to put in the commentary, oh, I must taste so good.
I'm delicious.
I am so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So we wrapped up this film with the girl that's in traction basically unbuckling herself, and she stabs George Eastman in the eyes with this compass thing, right? She's been drawing circles with. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So she stabs him in the eyes. So he's wandering around with his arms stretched out like he's Frankenstein's monster, wandering around the house, just knocking shit over. And, you know, she's struggling to walk because who knows? She has degenerative bone disease. I don't know.
Maybe her leg was asleep.
Yeah, the entire time. It's just because her leg was asleep. So George Eastman knocks down this suit of armor that has a sword and this battle axe.
Yeah. To be fair, the battle axe, quote unquote, is pretty wimpy looking.
But that's what she ends up cutting his head off with.
Yeah.
As she just goes at him, just
full Lizzie Borden.
Yeah. And that's the end of the film, when everybody finally comes home. The parents come home. The police show up. The priest shows up. Willie climbs over the wall and just shows up. It's kind of strange.
Everybody, the entire cast.
And the front door opens up, and it's just her standing there. And they do the slow roll of eyes of everybody looking to each other, just like all the other Italian films we've watched.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she raises up this severed head that she's cut off. She's like, don't worry, I've killed the boogeyman, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like that thing in, Halloween when, Michael's wearing the clown, he takes the mask off and his parents get there and they just stand around and look at each other for a long time as the camera pans out. Oh, by the way, the kid with the afro is like, I wish I had enough money to go to Italy for a kid slapping weekend. Just slap every damn kid I see.
Was that part of the Pirello tours?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, cool.
So, anyway, absurd is pretty absurd.
Even Italian movies at their boringest are still pretty interesting. And I'm sorry, I said that axe was wimpy. That is not, that's a pretty good axe.
It does the job. She just hits him like 12 times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, this wasn't a bad movie. It was entertaining. Gotta love the Italians.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing more like it.
Yeah. I mean, that is basically a cornucopia. I mean, it would take a long time to exhaust all of the Gio movies, you know, all the slasher movies, and then all these like super gore movies. And
got a lot to go through.
Yep.
Well, let's close out that tab on absurd.
That movie, it did look absurd. What they were doing, you know, it was perfectly titled.
Yeah. What was the Italian name for it? It's going to be named something else. And
there's no way that we can answer that with any type of.
It says just absurd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now wait a minute. What was absurd about it? I was making a joke, and now I'm really like, wait a minute. Why is it called absurd? That has to be like a typo or something.
The original title was Rosso Sangue.
Red blood.
Sangria. Oh, is that what it stands for? Is it red blood? Oh,
I love a good sangria.
I thought it was just talking about getting drunk at breakfast time. Yes. Just to wrap up George Eastman, to say that he wrote 44 films. And many of these films were for
Joe D'Amato.
Joe D'Amato, yes. He wrote Anthropophagus. He wrote Erotic Nights of the Living Dead.
Oh, one of my favorite. That's on those Disney, like the Disney masters. Okay, well, all I want to say, I don't want there to be any, I'm sorry it was confusing. That George Eastman is the good-looking American dude from City of the Living Dead, right? The report, the journalist.
No.
The guy from...
That is George. God damn it. That's Christopher George.
Christopher George. That is what is confounding the hell out of me. Well, then, okay.
So you were getting Christopher George and George Eastman mixed up?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That was my...
They look nothing alike.
No, they don't at all. That's why I was very confused. But I mean, also, that giant Italian dude, his name is not George Eastman.
No, he's had many names.
Right. He looks insane.
Oh, yeah.
And the movie that I'm talking about, or like the one that he has a very prominent role. He's like the main bad guy. He's like, gosh, we've got to do one of those Italian like Mad Max movies. Because they're so good. But yeah, anyway.
You were talking about Warriors of the Wasteland.
Yes, Warriors of the Wasteland. Well, this Warriors of the Wasteland or the New Barbarians, or it probably has like 7 or 8 different names. And like I said, these guys just, swap wigs, and suddenly they're doing like a serial killer movie, or, it's all the same actors. And, one guy's the mayor in one movie, and then he's lives in the sewer in the next one. So, interesting.
He was in Iron Master. There was a box art that had this huge sword just kind of coming out off the front of the box. And that's what I thought Iron Master was, but
I know exactly what you're talking about.
This is a guy we are going to see him again.
Yeah, for sure. Fred Williamson is also in Warriors of the Wasteland. I just wanted to point that out. dude, you got to see what he's wearing. It looks like he kind of looks like he's a solid gold dancer because he has like a weird little kind of band around his head, but then he still has that giant Fred Williamson mustache,
right,
that he uses to threaten people with. And did I mention Bob is in this too? Warriors of the Wasteland.
Yes, we've talked about this.
God, I swear I'm going to start saving now for my Italian kid slapping vacation.
George Eastman played Django in Django Kills Softly, 1967.
Awesome. There's a ton of those Django movies, by the way.
Kills Softly.
Oh, he wrote Metamorphosis, which I don't know that movie, but that cover art is, you might have already said this, but
I didn't.
The cover art is really cool.
We could go on and on, I think, about all of this.
Yeah, all of this will get dredged back up because in Italy, apparently there's 20 actors and they're all in the same movie around this time.
Is this not Caligula? Did Joe D'Amato direct Caligula?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe it was Joe D'Amato that did Caligula.
Because George Eastman also wrote the story.
Well,
and the screenplay as Richard Franks.
God. Dick Franks.
Dick Franks. No, I don't. I think this is a different Caligula because this is the Emperor Caligula. Man, we have tapped into a whole new wormhole.
Okay, no, yeah. Tinto Brass is the one that he directed, the one with Malcolm McDowell and Peter O'Toole.
Gotcha.
And that is the one that I was talking about. It is pretty gross. Right. Softcore.
And Malcolm
gross.
McDowell from, class of 1999.
Well, what do you know? Actors are in different movies. If I've learned nothing from this podcast, it's that actors, they don't just get to do one movie and then they're like, well, that was it. We'll see if it's successful and then you can retire. They're only, oh my God, I forgot about this movie. I'm clicking around on Caligula, but Helen Mirren is in it and just wearing some really odd outfits.
All right.
Anyway,
moving on. Let's close that tab on George Eastman.
Yeah. That was a confusing tab.
That was what I did this weekend. Okay. And I like to think I'm better for it.
Yeah. Sure. Tell you what, man. We'll see how much of Beyond the Darkness you can watch before tossing your cookies. It's pretty gross.
It's now a game.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Froze up first.
Are you ready to go down your deep dive?
Yeah, sure. So like I said earlier, my guy that I kind of settled on, it was sort of a serendipitous experience because I was reading kind of Google News today, and there's an article about this guy, and he's closing in on 600
credits,
movie credits.
No shit, that's insane.
Surpassing Christopher Lee. I need to look up Christopher Lee because I don't know if this is true or not, and I don't remember if we talked about it, but it seems like I heard that he had one of the highest credit.
Christopher Lee is just at 282.
Wow, really?
Do you feel like when we start bringing up our deep dives, it's kind of like if you watch like Master Chef or somebody when they're picking their teams and they've chosen the captains, like I'm choosing this person because of their tenacity and their ability to dice carrots so thin. And they, do you feel like you draw it out a little bit?
Kind of like I'm making a fantasy, like these are the actors that I would want if I could make my own movie. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe
like,
so, yeah.
This is my dream team kind of?
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
I like teasing before I make the reveal, but...
Oh, sure.
I don't think that I'm going to guess your guy knowing how many credits he is, unless it's freaking
Al Leong. Which he's still out and about. Anybody can grab him. He's up for grab.
I'm thinking about Danny Trejo would be the only other person.
Sure. Oh, he's got to be just in the last 10 years alone, he probably made 300 movies.
But that's not your guy. See, that's the only person.
No. But he's at the beginning of this article says, you've definitely seen his face before.
Okay.
So let me I'll give you a couple of credits and we'll see. He was in Airplane.
Okay. George Kennedy.
He was in, no, another, look. Okay. I'm not going to string this along too long, but he was in an episode of The Big Bang Theory. He was in a kind of famous episode of Seinfeld. Okay, but that's just the little credits. The first time a lot of people saw him, he was probably in Blade Runner.
Okay.
He's also in Wayne's World 2. He's also in, and this has to be the last one. He's in Big Trouble in Little China. And his name is, do you have a guess?
No.
His name is James Hong. And he is Lopan in Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay, yes.
He's Tia Carrera's dad in Wayne's World 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he fights, Wayne at the end. But he's 91 years old.
So I was trying to add it up.
Yeah. He was born in 1929.
In Minnesota.
Yeah, and that was odd. I read that, and then, he was like a civil engineer and stuff. But I guess just got the acting bug.
I guess. And hasn't gotten off the set in 30 years.
Exactly.
Wow.
Trying to remember what he does in Blade Runner. He's in that refrigerated place where they go.
His name is Hannibal Chew.
I don't know if he is making the replica. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. Anyway, he's in Chinatown.
God, it just goes on and
on and on and on. Does a lot of animated voice work. He was in Kung Fu Panda.
Saw that. He's in Tango and Cash.
See, I don't remember even that. He's in Drunk History, which now I have to track whatever episode that is down.
He's in Vice Versa with Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage.
Right. I also think he's in Happy Days.
He's in Hot to Trot with Bobcat Goldthwait.
My God. We're stopping the podcast right now, watching that movie, and then talking about it. Did that have Dabney Coleman in it?
Yes, it did.
Tell me if that had Dabney.
Oh, yes. He was in Revenge of the Nerds Part 2 as a character named Snotty.
Yeah, he's the guy that teaches Booger to belch from his inner,
That is so awesome. I didn't realize that that Lopan had a first name in Big Trouble in Little China. He's David Lopan.
I looked that up. I think in his trivia it says that he's played Lopan 3 times. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Is Lopan like an actual, mythological character? And he sure as shit is.
Really?
And the story that Kurt Russell gets, when they explain, that's like a really cool scene where the music kind of comes in and they talk about, Lopan and how he, had like all the flesh taken off of his body. And apparently that whole story that they lay on him is actual, Chinese mythology.
Very interesting.
Oh, man, Colossus, the Forbin Project. Put a pin in that one. We're doing that one. That's another TV movie, I think.
Never heard of it.
It's like parts the Clonus horror.
Mm-hmm. I meant to do that.
Yeah, yeah. He was in Kung Fu for.
I saw that.
Several episodes.
He was in several episodes of Days of Our Lives.
And I want to say it's not. But I have to think Did he, was his character like the owner of a Chinese restaurant or something?
Well, his name was Baba Sulan.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, I wouldn't say like stereotypical names. They're probably just really popular names, like Mr. Smith or something. But
stereotypical because he's a guy from Minnesota.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that there's a huge. Let's just not even. I love it in IMDb too. It's like whoever wrote that was just waiting, like
I'm going to blow minds.
Right. I do like Hannibal Chew though. That is kind of a cool name.
Here, The New Adventures of Charlie Chan.
Oh yeah.
That was 1957. He played Barry Chan.
He was very young at that point.
Yeah. That was 33 episodes.
Also says that he is in 5 or 6 movies that won Best Picture. He was in Love is a Many Splendored Thing. I have no idea what that is.
This is incredible for somebody to have this many credits. Because, when you say, he's got over 400 credits, but if you're in an ongoing TV series, you played a role in several, and it doesn't break you down as, okay, I was in 16 episodes of this, I get 16 credits. No, you get 1 credit.
One.
So this guy
you
has
could
been
work on that show for 3 years and it would just be, that is interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah, he's being robbed. He's in all these old Western shows, Bat Masterson.
He was in No Deposit, No Return.
Oh, yeah.
That was David Niven, Darren McGavin, Don Knotts.
I think I've seen that.
I know I've seen this. I don't remember what it was. It's a Walt Disney film. During school break, 2 kids are to stay with their rich grandpa, but they would rather join their mother overseas. In need of plane ticket cash, they convince 2 petty criminals to fake kidnap them for ransom that they could all share.
Foolproof. That's a good plan. That's a solid plan.
If your kidnappers are Darren McGavin and Don Knotts.
Oh. I mean, those are the kidnappers you want, That's like a vacation with those guys. But yeah, The Fugitive, Man from U.N.C.L.E., I Dream of Jeannie, The Donna Reed Show, Gomer Pyle, USMC.
It goes on and on.
Yeah, Family Affair, Cosby Show.
But he was in Ninja 3, The Domination, and Missing in Action.
I don't remember that.
Missing in Action was Chuck Norris. Yeah. But I was just listening to Ninja 3 on How Did This Get Made. Yes, I actually cheated on our podcast to listen to another podcast while I was mowing the lawn.
That's going to happen.
Let me go on to another sidebar that has nothing to do with nothing. Okay. But I was weed eating out in the pit, the really woody area of my property, right? But I came across 2 snapping turtles having sex. And I scared the male, and he kind of fell on his back, so he's just kind of struggling, still attached to the female, but his arms and legs are just kind of waving in the air. And I didn't get out my phone and film anything because
you had respect for
it's privacy. I
the turtle's privacy.
So I was trying to help him back to his mount, right? But instead of using my hand, I actually used a stick because I thought it was going to be a little weird if I was caught up in some snapping turtle porno. I didn't want to be a third wheel in that. So
right, you didn't for 1 second think if I video this and put like a nice, like kind of 70s groove music to it. Yeah.
Bow chicka wow wow.
But you didn't. And that's the important thing. Could have, didn't.
You did not mention the Golden Child.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I loved that movie.
Which also had Victor Wong.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wasn't Randall Tex Cobb in that
yes,
movie?
Yes, he is. His name is Till, Til, in that movie.
Weird. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I love it that they put prosthetics on him. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have that. Did he not look good enough before? You have to put that little bit of extra. I don't know. Seems like wasted. He already looks like that. That's why you hired him. But I like it that James Hong is he's a Japanese general that's sitting next to Robert Hayes and in Airplane, and he's one of the people that he likes.
Right.
Like he's going to commit seppuku or something.
That is awesome.
Oh. He was in Soap, and his name was Peking Tom.
Wow.
That is, guys, that's not cool. I guess it was in 81.
He was in Jackie Chan Adventures, the cartoon.
Yeah, he's got a lot of cartoon credits. He's also in Mike Tyson Mysteries, which I thought was pretty cool. And Tales from the Dark Side.
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperverse Go.
That, I think, was his best role. He was an Airwolf.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Is there anything in his trivia here that, besides working as an engineer for the city of Los Angeles?
I just wanted one tiny little peek into his, younger life. Like, why is he living in Minnesota, and what did his parents do? And I didn't dig too deep on the Wikipedia, which I assume would maybe give a little glimpse. He was in Forever Night. Remember that TV show?
Yes.
About the vampire.
Who was the head vampire guy?
Oh gosh,
I can see his meaty face.
It's the same guy from Cube. Oh God, if that's his name, I can't pronounce it. Geraint Wynn Davies. That ring a bell?
I could have sworn it was easier to pronounce.
No, it is. That's him. Geraint? Oh, really hit a roadblock with this dude's name.
See, I didn't realize he was in Cube 2.
Yeah.
Same guy. I've seen that. Yeah.
He's the guy that collects the watches, isn't he, in the first one?
Or the second one.
I actually remember watching Cube 2 with your wife.
Mm-hmm. She loves those movies.
I know. Yeah, why are we watching? Oh, he was in Forever Night. Sorry, sometimes when I have too many tabs open, I'm like, what? How am I even going to bit back? Silent Fury? I had a Silent Fury this morning.
No.
That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Oh, X-Files. Nash Bridges.
But I was looking at this guy earlier, actually, who was in Forever Night. 22 episodes as Captain Joe Reese. Blue Mancuma.
That's his name?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I mean, you see his face, you're like, oh, yeah, I know this guy. He's
right
all over the place. He has 197 credits. I looked at him for actually doing my deep dive on him.
Mm-hmm.
And
what would people know him from?
Uh-huh. I just recognize his face.
Yeah. It seems like he was in not St. Elsewhere, but one of those long running TV shows, like In the Heat of the Night or something.
That's what I was looking at. He was in RoboCop Alpha Commando. Was that a cartoon?
Is that like the TV?
That's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, I think.
Yeah, he did a lot of voiceover work, it looked like. Sonic Underground. Shadow Raiders.
I've watched that.
It's all of these are cartoons.
Yeah.
Extreme Dinosaurs, Mummies Alive.
Extreme Dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. G.I. Joe Extreme. Space Strikers.
Oh, that sounds cool. He was in Watchers.
Interesting.
He was in Wise Guy.
I came across him and I don't know why. I don't know how.
Just solid.
Yeah.
Character actor.
He was in Shoot to Kill as Undercover Priest.
I love Undercover Priest.
So.
Oh, okay. He was a voice in the old G.I. Joe, I think. Which now I wonder who he is.
But he was in The Stepfather. I watched this again recently. Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, B. stepfather.
Yes.
Is he a cop?
I assume. Lieutenant Jack Wall. Interesting. I looked him up. I just try to find somebody that has a real interesting trivia and not just, yeah. I'm not going to be able to freaking top Lopan's freaking list of credits.
Right. We're going to have to be on the watch out for that. I'm going to make a note of that. It'd be easy to, just look up who has the most credits, do you think? Do you think that's a number that someone would?
I don't know if anybody can beat that. Even Danny Trejo's not up there.
Danny Trejo's making up for a lot of lost time, I think, So anyway, it's a guy that we all have watched him in movies for years. And he played Lopan. So, that bad guy is like one of the ultimate bad guys. I love when he finds the girls, and he's getting excited at the ceremony and stuff, that weird giggle that he does, He just was like so evil and kind of just weird.
It says his net worth is $8.5 million.
God damn.
He should be worth $1 billion for as much as he's worked, right?
Well, yeah. He probably blew all that money on a rocket car or something. That's what rich people do. He's a voice in Archer. Man, he does a lot of voice work. He's Diablo 3, Sleeping Dogs, Warcraft, Call of Duty, Black Ops 2. Man, can you imagine being a voice actor? I don't want to if it is super hard work, I don't want to belittle them, but man, that just seems like rolling off a log, just go in, do some voice, warm up a little bit. And now you're a cartoon dog, seems like a dream job.
He studied civil engineering at the University of Minnesota and concentrated the majority of his free time on moving plates and fixing templates for the drill squad. I'm not exactly what.
That sounds filthy.
All I could think of was when I was in the color guard.
Yeah. You actually stabbed a guy through the head with your baton. Or graduation. And then you were ostracized for it. No charges were brought. They said it was a weird accident, but people knew.
His career in show business began in the 1950s when he'd redubbed soundtracks of several Asian films.
Like he did all the voices.
It looks like it.
Like translated to English.
In 1956 film Godzilla King of the Monsters.
And he looks like a really nice guy, too.
He does.
Oh, there is one piece of trivia. He was beat out by George Takei for Sulu.
Huh. Interesting.
Not beat off, beat out. So none of you...
for all you freaking pervs out
sniffers. There. Pervs. Why do we assume that there's so many perverted people listening to this? There is a movie I have always wanted to watch, and I never have, called The Vineyard. Nothing?
What year?
89. You're going to remember the cover immediately.
Yeah, it's right under the jitters. I clicked on the jitters. No, I don't remember The Vineyard.
Really?
Nope.
I don't either because I've never seen it.
He directed this?
Oh, I don't know. Did he?
He wrote, directed, and starred in it.
What? I will be looking for that. I think I pronounced it Vineyard when I was younger and
The Vineyard.
Never lived down the shame.
World-famous winemaker Elson Poe invites several actors to his estate to audition for a movie he's financing. Little did they know, there's no movie, and Poe hides a deadly secret. Soylent Green is people. He's making wine out of people. He's freshly squozing people.
I love a good, Denise. Just really...
A nice, pulpy Denise Crosby.
Yeah. Plenty of nose.
This Jerry is very aromatic.
Just spit it right back out. What is this? Is this I'm sorry, I gave you Barry instead of Jerry. You shouldn't drink that.
Common mistake.
Yeah. I get mixed up.
All right. You ready to close this out on James Hong?
You guys know who he is. Just if you haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China, then you probably, I don't know what to say to you.
Turn off this podcast and watch it. What are you doing?
Immediately. Idiot.
That's how we retain our listeners. We just insult them.
Berate them. Yep. Fucking idiots. Watch a movie or two and then come back to it.
Shit.
Oh, James Hong. Been in a bunch of movies.
All right. Well, let's move on to my guy then.
Okay.
We are burning tape today, man.
It's totally off the rails. I thought it was going to be a pretty short, concise one.
We're doing good. I just had to go off on this Italian film for 30 minutes.
And I had to get confused because people apparently can have the same name and not be the same person. Or
Christopher George and George Eastman.
I was so confused when that happened. But I'm on medication too, so.
All right. Well, there's your excuse.
Okay, who is this guy?
This guy we have talked about several different times. He's actually got a pretty prolific career. He's got 224 credits in his belt.
Not bad. He's no James Hong.
No. He started out in 1962. We joined the Navy. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody cares about that. We're talking about this guy is from Manchester, England, UK.
Okay.
I'm talking about David Warner.
Ah, beautiful. Love David Warner.
I had thought about him before, and I don't know why he didn't make it onto my list, but he totally deserves it.
Awesome. Awesome actor. Once you see him in the movie, you're like, oh, we're going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. He was in, I wanted to bring this one up. 1974, there was a anthology film called From Beyond the Grave.
Okay, yes.
And which also had Peter Cushing, Donald Pleasance, Leslie Ann Down, Angela Pleasance,
okay.
which is
That's hard to say.
Donald Pleasance's daughter is also in a segment with him.
Huh, okay.
And I had to look her up for a minute, but she only has a few credits, but it was kind of interesting. This is an anthology film, 4 short horror stories revolving around a British antique shop and its mysterious owner. And the mysterious owner is Peter Cushing.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Looks very interesting. David Warner's, he looks so young, but.
It does look young. And he's got those like 70s kind of lamb chop sideburns, hair's long, super tall.
I don't know why I've never seen that. How tall is he?
I just saw him barely walk by. And I mean, compared to Peter Cushing, he's like, it's like 3 feet taller than Peter Cushing.
6'2". But consider that George Eastman, not Christopher George. George Eastman is 6'6".
Wow, Jesus.
Cross of Iron. I remember seeing this box art too.
Right, yes. I know I've seen it.
It's a Sam Peckinpah film. That's probably why you've seen it.
Maybe.
1977, German commander Captain Hauptmann, whatever. Stronsky, who's played by Maximilian Schell, places a squad in extreme danger after Sergeant Rolf Steiner, James Colburn, refuses to lie for him. That seems like an odd premise, but...
Yeah. I think it's just, all of that is just set decoration for Sam Peckinpah just wanting to, like, blow people up in slow motion.
Yes. And that was 1977. 76, he was in The Omen.
Yeah. Got his coconut. I think that might be one of my favorite scenes in that movie. That slow-mo, like, pane of glass, just he gets decapitated.
Yes, I'm looking at it right there. Picture 50 of 139 on The Omen. is just David Warner's severed head on pane of glass.
Wow. Well, I mean, all the deaths in that movie are like a kind of Final Destination, It's the sharpest object that we can find.
Mm-hmm.
That in particular is a really cool death.
You get to see the pane of glass really right up on his neck on image 49 of 139. Oh, interesting.
Yep. Seems like throughout his career, I don't know if it's because of his like delivery or what, but he kind of gravitates towards, would you say, like horror and like mystery and
I think so.
He's been in a lot of horror movies.
He was in the 39 Steps.
39 Steps.
I think this is different. I'm thinking 39 Steps was Alfred Hitchcock. I am wrong about that one.
I don't know.
He was in Nightwing.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
1979, Killer Bats.
Yeah, pretty good.
I think we looked at that before. Nick Mancuso was in that.
Yeah.
And that was an Arthur Hiller film. We did look at that before. He was in The Island, and we've talked about this before.
Is that the one with the hand and like the knife coming out of the water?
A journalist takes his son with him to investigate pirate activity off the coast of Florida, but he gets stranded on a mysterious island where he might not be alone. That is a Peter Benchley novel.
Oh, okay.
So, Michael Caine, David Warner.
He was working his way up to Jaws. It was just like a big tuna that was just harassing them. I mean, that would be pretty scary.
David Warner was in Time Bandits.
Yeah, he's also in Time After Time, which might be the first time I ever saw him in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love that movie.
And I was, of course, tiptoeing around that because I was going to come back to it. But that's okay. You spoiler alert.
Sorry.
But Time After Time, which also stars Malcolm McDowell. Because I love this film. I love the story is so well done. Malcolm McDowell does an exceptional job.
That is probably my favorite Malcolm McDowell movie or performance. He's really good in that.
And David Warner playing Dr. John Leslie Stevenson.
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I need to revisit just to figure out what the plot of that movie is.
I mean, it was like 1979. There's no way I could have seen that at the theater, but I definitely watched it on HBO or whatever so many times back in the day.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But in the trivia for Time After Time reads, Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen met and fell in love while shooting this picture.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they were married for 10 years.
Wow, I did not know that.
Did not know that. Malcolm McDowell listened to recordings of H.G. Wells to prepare for his role. How
did he prepare for his mustache in that movie? That's what I want. Because it is a big old caterpillar on his lip.
Mm-hmm. Time After Time was the film debut of Corey Feldman.
What?
Yeah.
Are you talking about?
He was a boy in a museum. He was like 8 years old.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I got to watch all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I have to watch another stupid movie. Wow, that's really interesting. That would not be my guess if that came up,
So here you've got, he was also in Tron, of course. Master Control, yeah.
Yes.
He was in one of our favorites. Go ahead and read it. Playing Dr. Alfred Necessiter.
Oh, yeah, and The Man with Two Brains.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Yeah, of course.
And The Company of Wolves. I need to go back and see that because I don't think I enjoyed it when I saw it as a kid, and I don't think I ever went back to watch it.
That is exactly my experience with it. I don't think I liked it. You're drawn in by the box art, which is probably one of the best. That's a great image, is the wolf.
Except for the one that IMDb has up there.
It's not the original one? It's not the one I'm thinking?
It's not the original box art, no.
What? Guys, you're missing out.
But yeah, the wolf coming out of the guy's mouth.
Yeah, they actually, in that movie, the werewolves, they like shed their skin, their human skin. Pretty cool.
I mean, well, granted, this is a total take on Red Riding Hood, right?
Yes. I really don't remember anything from it.
I don't remember it either. But Neil Jordan, I looked at him. Neil Jordan was the director who did The Crying Game.
Oh, right, sure.
But David Warner also played in the TV movie for Frankenstein, and he played the monster. And Carrie Fisher was in it.
Okay.
John Gielgud.
Okay. I don't know why John Gielgud's name made me laugh. Do you remember My Best Friend is a Vampire?
I don't remember seeing it. I know the box art just because it was, I just looked at it too.
I think I used to really like it, although I might be getting it mixed up with Once Bitten.
I'd seen Once Bitten too many times. The writer's name is Tab Murphy.
Just named after a pop they don't make anymore. You know who else is in My Best Friend is a Vampire?
Hit me.
Renee Aubergenois.
Damn it.
Boom. There he is. I've done it.
And Kathy Bates is down there.
What if she was like the hot chick in the lingerie?
Yeah. Who is
Modoc
and Grimsdyke?
What?
Paul Wilson plays Grimsdyke.
That is a name.
That is a name. Oh, right. Paul Wilson was in Office Space. He was the jump to conclusions guy.
Yeah, right. So he still looks
exactly the same.
Nothing has changed. So he was in Waxwork in '88, which I love that movie.
My Best Friend's a Vampire also had Fanny Flagg in it. She played a teacher. She wrote Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe.
Really?
Which became Fried Green Tomatoes with Kathy Bates. Great movie, by the way.
There's like some layers that we were busting through.
I think so.
Like some kind of vegetable.
I haven't even gotten to his trivia yet.
Oh.
He was in Necronomicon, Book of the Dead.
Yes, he was. I have seen that recently. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it's pretty effective. It's pretty scary.
How about, did we overlook In the Mouth of Madness?
No. Wait a minute. Oh my God. I have an In the Mouth of Madness crossover later.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you said you made this next trip and through your yarn out of 2 moves. I was trying to guess what you went into, and now you're throwing me off.
Well, the linking factor is a real, you wouldn't have, I would not have in a million years guessed it unless I just looked it up on IMDb. It's one movie that connects, and it's something that you wouldn't even have thought of. So,
cool.
Be blowing your mind here shortly.
Let me get through with my trivia then. His trademark is deep, smooth voice and often plays sinister villains.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
David Warner's limp in Straw Dogs. I did not bring up Straw Dogs.
I know, I've seen it before, and I think just once was enough.
Yeah. But his limp was real. He smashed both of his heels in a fall sometime before filming.
Okay.
He had a hard time walking in that. And I think that they mentioned that also he had something wrong with his ankles in Time After Time. But it said something about him having ankle problems, so he was walking slowly. But then again, his character as Jack the Ripper was moving methodically, I thought, so it just kind of added to that.
Yeah.
He has played 3 different species in the Star Trek universe.
Okay.
He played a human in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Okay.
He played a Klingon in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And a Kardashian, and not a Kardashian.
What?
My wife's going to hurt me.
Oh,
Kardashian.
No. Yeah, it had a big fake butt.
Oh, man.
I'd love to check out his makeup line.
I bet his sex tape is awesome.
Ew. It's just a lot of like, oh, pardon me. Oh, could you just...
Soiled it. Oh. But no, he played a Cardassian in Star Trek.
There's a you need to hit that sh sound.
In Star Trek Next Generation.
Okay.
Well, I am crying.
Now wait a minute. You've been saying also I want to draw your wife's attention to, I think you're calling it Star Trek. And it is
whatever.
It is Star Trek. It is a trek that they are on.
Please feel free to email us and tell us how stupid I really am.
And just wait for us to hit the delete button. Going in the trash.
I did not have this much trouble when we were just drinking through all of our episodes.
I was thinking the exact same thing. My mind is mush. My mind is just gone.
This requires copious amounts of alcohol. It really does.
And I don't have those amounts. I just don't.
Here we go. He has played an ape in Planet of the Apes in 2001.
Oh.
A character obsessed with gorillas in the movie Morgan in 1966, and did a gorilla impression in The Man with Two Brains.
Exactly. I was hoping that was coming up.
You would have brought it up.
Huh. Do you think that's all by chance?
I don't know.
Wow.
Very interesting. Let's see here. He has vertigo.
Oh, God.
And had a double in Time Bandits in the scene where the evil genius walks up the steps after caging the bandits. Mm-hmm. He couldn't handle the drop below him.
Whoa.
So very interesting. And he's over 6 foot tall.
Exactly. That's got to suck for him. Like, if you're short and you have vertigo, it's like, no problem, you know? Wow. That would suck. I wonder if that has anything to do with how he broke his heel.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, woo, whoa, fell over.
He played a voice of Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, cool. In the Batman.
In Batman, the animated series, yeah.
He was also in Freakazoid, which I loved.
He was originally slated to play Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street. Makeup tests were done, but Warner had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts.
Wow. How would they even explain him having a British accent? Or would he have done an American accent?
I don't know.
That seems crazy to me.
I'm very interested in seeing it and terrified at the same time.
Definitely would have been more imposing than Robert Englund. I mean, Robert Englund is like a average sized dude, you know? I'm just saying, like, if Freddy Krueger was taller and had longer arms, you know, you'd be more scared of him.
Go back on what I was saying. He's played Ra's al Ghul in 3 different series: the Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and Batman Beyond.
Wow. So this has gone on for years.
Yeah. So very interesting. He was suggested as a candidate to replace Colin Baker as the Doctor in Doctor Who, 1963.
Oh my God. I wish I didn't even know that. I'd actually watch Doctor Who. He would have been a great Doctor Who. Well, it also says later on that he's in these new, I guess more recent Doctor Who seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Scream 2.
Really? I did not realize that. He was considered for the role of Grandpa Joe in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is the 2005 one.
Oh, okay.
So that's out of his biography on IMDb. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, pretty cool. I love him. He'd show up a bunch in, 80s movies that weren't, maybe lower budget 80s movies.
Mm-hmm. He did play a recurring character in, I think you were trying to say, a Doctor Who Dreamland TV miniseries. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a cartoon. Yeah. Total Recall 2070 TV series. He was also in as Dr. Felix Latham.
Okay.
Did we bring this up before?
Yes, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, looks like it was on for 1 season back in 1999.
Okay, I've got a question.
Hit me.
I skipped past this earlier because it said TV series, but he was in Cast a Deadly Spell, which is...
Right. That was an HBO movie, right?
Yeah, a movie. But this is calling it a TV series. Maybe it was just kind of a typo, but there's a lot of people in that. And I remember really liking it.
Yeah, isn't Fred Ward in that?
Yeah, Fred Ward is the detective Lovecraft or whatever. You know, it's like a 50s crime drama, but also it's like a H.P. Lovecraft kind of world where there's things from other dimensions. And I think he plays the bad guy, the main bad guy in there.
Now it just says TV movie.
I mean, it for sure is not a series.
But it was an HBO, I thought.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I've got a weird story behind this.
Uh-oh.
That a friend of mine, I think, owned this way back in the day. Uh-huh. And I have never seen this movie all the way through.
Wow, really? Michael and I have seen it a few times.
Because I always fall asleep. I am serious. I have seen the first 20 minutes of this movie probably 100 times.
Right.
And never made it through it. It is the cure for insomnia.
Wow.
Just putting it out there.
I mean, I guess it probably does take a while to get really going, but I don't know. It's just so weird.
David Warner's character is Amos Hackshaw.
It seems like he is not an Amos Hackshaw.
No, he's not.
No British guy is named. No.
That is a name that belongs in Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, right next to Skeeter Jones.
Exactly. Old Skeeter. I miss him. Wow.
So anyway, David Warner.
I mean, some heavy hitters.
Yeah.
He's in Twin Peaks.
I did not realize that. Who the hell is he in Twin Peaks?
It says it's at the end of the second season. Yeah,
He's in Beastmaster 3.
I saw that.
The Eye of Braxis.
I did not want to bring that up.
Shouldn't have. That's Mark Singer and Tony Todd. Casper Van Dien.
Oh.
Leslie Ann Down. Again.
Anybody else with 3 names?
David Grant Wright. I don't know who that is. He just had 3 names.
Lee Harvey Oswald was in that. He's in the Unnameable too.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the Unnameable, the first one?
The first one. I don't remember seeing the second one.
Right. Me neither. But there he is again in a kind of Lovecraft. He was in Wild Palms. Remember that?
No.
In 93, it was only on for 1 season, thank God. And I think I want to say it's an Oliver Stone story, but it was about virtual reality, I think. And
no, I know nothing about this. I was thinking something else.
Man.
Totally.
Robert Loggia, Kim Cattrall, Angie Dickinson, Ernie Hudson. So, nickname Cuso.
Charles Hallahan's in that too.
Brad Dourif. Well,
a multinational corporation attempts to take over America while small pockets of resistance hold out against rampant technology. That tells me nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty vague. I think that's why it only lasted 1 season, because I'm pretty sure it was Oliver Stone, and I think
yeah, his name's on the box art there.
He was going for a Twin Peaks type thing and didn't realize that David Lynch had already done it, but better.
Years before. I was looking at some of the trivia for Time After Time.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's title inspired Cyndi Lauper's song. When she browsed a copy of TV Guide looking for imaginary song titles, she fucking stole the title. Ew.
Well, she can have it. She can do whatever she wants.
Can she?
Oh my God.
And get away with it?
How long do you think it will take me in this podcast to get to Vibes?
Oh,
how many episodes
2 moves.
do you think? Yeah. I mean, that's just begging me. And I love that movie too. Had Peter Falk in it.
Here we go. During the chase scenes at the hotel, David Warner is replaced with a stunt double for far shots because he was still on the mend from two broken ankles.
Jesus.
That he probably got during one of his bouts of vertigo.
Yes, I assume that played a part in it. It's like his only thing is like, keep me the hell away from sharp drop-offs, you know?
Step stools in general.
Yeah.
This is the second movie of two Jack the Ripper movies that were released in 1979. The first one was Murder by Decree.
Oh, okay.
Never seen Murder by Decree.
But David Warner, just one of the greats.
Solid.
Yeah. Hope that vertigo. How old is he now? Born in 41.
How old is he? 41, 59. He's 79 years old.
But yeah, David Warner.
Beautiful guy.
Yeah, beautiful man. Beautiful 6'2"
vertigo-stricken man.
Yeah, exactly. God's a prankster. I mean, Billy Barty had vertigo. He just never knew it because he was not that. It didn't affect him
until he got up on the desk as a police chief.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to clicking off the tab. Thank you, David Warner.
Thanks, David.
Hope to see you again. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's move on. You ready to make your yarn?
Yes.
Yarn?
Jarn? Yes,
Jarn?
I am, because like so much other stuff about this podcast, we have these serendipitous moments because we're just throwing all these actors around, and it's just weird how many times they
overlap,
cross paths. So we were talking about In the Mouth of Madness earlier because David Warner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to bring that up here in a second because I got to make the yarn first, which I realize. So, class of 1999.
Mm-hmm.
One of the robot teachers is an actor named John P. Ryan.
John P. Ryan.
John P. Ryan. The guy with the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
How robots smoke a pipe, I don't know.
So he was actually, this was made in 1990, and he would have been 54 years old. He looked older than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it was makeup, you know.
Yeah.
What can you do with a receding hairline and white hair?
He does kind of already look like an android a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when they put him in the oven, his face wasn't quite done. And they pulled him out, and they're like, "Okay, we've just got to move on." So, and like I said, this is going to be very, very quick.
We're going to It Lives?
No, I mean, like this guy, like many of the other people, he's in this whirlpool of B horror movies.
He was in Seamus with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of. He was in Delta Force 2, Miami Vice. He was in 3 O'Clock High. I think we said that. He was the principal, I assume, since he looks like a principal.
Right.
Probably the biggest movie that he is in, John P. Ryan, is The Right Stuff.
Yes.
Okay? About some astronauts. You might have heard of it. I had to watch it in science class, I think.
Really?
Wake up 30 minutes later.
I don't necessarily remember it. I mean, it's a
pile of drool.
It's got a ton of people. Great movie, supposedly. I can't tell you.
I don't know. Veronica Cartwright's in it. Lance Henriksen's in it.
And that's where you're going, Lance Henriksen?
No. You might think. Levon Helm is in it? Okay, so then we're going to have to do another full podcast.
Donald Moffat?
Yeah. So, anyway.
And Pamela Reed, I just looked her up. Oh, my God.
All I know her as is she's Leslie Knope's mom on Parks and Rec.
Yeah. As she was in the movie Best of Times.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Kurt Russell and Robin Williams.
Yes.
Seen that movie a bunch.
And she was also in Cadillac Man with Robin Williams. Yeah. Anyway,
that's beside
way off topic.
So there's a bunch of kind of rugged face. It's like they picked the astronauts on who had the most like weather worn face. You got Sam Shepard, Ed Harris, Dennis Quaid, Fred Ward. I mean, that's a lot of face.
That's a lot of face.
Lance Henriksen, he plays, I don't know who Wally is I'm sure he's a historical character. God, Levon Helm, though, that is a real...
As a narrator. Scott Wilson.
Yeah. Royal Dano.
I don't know who Royal Dano
Jeff
is.
Goldblum?
Holy shit, I didn't know that either. Harry Shearer?
Harry Shearer.
Who's Royal Dano?
Royal Dano is the guy from... wow, maybe I'm thinking of somebody different. He was in a bunch of cowboy TV shows.
He was in Gunsmoke.
Yeah, Gunsmoke, Rawhide.
He played actually different characters in Gunsmoke.
Bonanza, Wagon Train, The Virginian.
Yeah.
You'd know him if you saw him. He was in House 2, the second story, and I think he plays the old, cowboy. He was in Something Wicked This Way Comes. And he was in Electric Glide in Blue. And I must say, this has nothing to do with what I was talking about. And this guy just has a funny name. And he had a heart attack.
Which is not funny.
Anyway, so you've got these guys, rugged-faced dudes, astronaut. Scott Glenn plays Alan Shepard.
I love Scott Glenn. I really do.
Love Scott Glenn.
Yeah, he's 81.
I can think of...
I bet he could still kick my ass.
He's in Castle Rock. He plays...
yes, Alan Pangborn.
Which I thought was perfect. I love that show, but it has confused me so much. I mean, I think you can see by this podcast, or hear from this podcast, that I get my wires crossed every once in a while. And the plot of Castle Rock is so confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess that's just part of it. It's a mystery. You got to figure it out. But anyway, but
Scott Glenn was really busy in the 90s.
And
totally in everything.
And also, like, you might be thinking that I'm tapping him for...
I see where you're going.
You do? I mean, we have talked about it before.
Yes, many times.
Maybe times. Oh no,
Yes.
No. I still don't think you know what it is. I could have done that one.
Diana.
Yes, that one. Well, I thought you might be thinking the Keith, which would have been another good move.
I was as well. Yes.
I had a moment where I had to really pick which one. But I picked a TV movie from 1972 that I probably caught when I was maybe, I would say like 5 or 6 probably. And it was on a creature feature, they'd show like late.
That's when I saw it.
And
it was in the 80s when, of course, but.
Right. But yeah, it originally came out in 72. It's called Gargoyles. Scott Glenn is, don't know that I'd say he's the main character. He is kind of the hero character, but the main character is Cornell Wilde, who plays Dr. Bowley. Jennifer Salt is Diana. Which I've used that voice for Gargoyles so many times. This movie is on YouTube in its entirety, and they have very different voices from what I remember. So I don't know if, time has just, this is a long time ago. Anyway, the reason that I was kind of freaking out earlier, which I shouldn't do anymore, but Bernie Casey plays the main gargoyle.
The titular
gargoyle. And he was also in The Mouth of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this movie, from that first time that I saw it, like late one Saturday night, when I got to stay up late and watch, whatever was on creature feature. Next episode, we'll be talking a lot about like horror movie hosts and stuff like Svengoolie, because this is a TV movie. I mean,
it's only an hour and 14 minutes long.
I know. I had a debate with myself too about, is there enough to talk about? But like,
of course there's enough. We'll turn it into a 4-hour podcast. Sure.
This might be the only podcast we ever do that's on time. Cornell Wilde and his daughter. He's an archaeologist. I don't know, ? And
it says anthropologist / paleontologist.
I don't remember how the plot gets going, but they're investigating. He and his daughter.
Don't they just hit one with a car?
Oh, that's right.
Isn't that how? That's what I remember.
Yes, that's right. They do have like a holy shit. But then
they don't pill out and take off like right. They did in Absurd.
Yeah, exactly. I got to watch that movie. So anyway, I mean, it's pretty convenient that a paleontologist manages to, I mean, there's so many of these things that he hits one with his car like it's a fucking possum or something. There's a scene where they go to see a guy named Uncle Willie.
Uncle Willie,
because I think he's got a strange
Willie Ames.
He's got a strange skeleton, maybe, that he wants to show him. I forget. Right, but anyway,
I thought it was like a roadside attraction almost.
Yes, that's probably it. And then they, he's basically like, "Oh, you're a paleontologist? Come here. You want to see something really fucked up?"
Yeah. Hey,
hey,
take a look at this. Does this look infected to you?
But no spoiler alerts, but there's a scene that's pretty intense when they're at this like roadside attraction. And I just remember, watching that, being young and watching that and just thinking it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah. And then for a long time, it wasn't available. Like everybody had these memories of it and you just couldn't find it on DVD,
Mm-mm. I kept looking for it and looking for it, and I was like doubting that it was actually called Gargoyles.
Right, exactly, exactly. So, but it is on YouTube. It is also available.
It's on Tubi.
Okay.
You can stream it for free on Tubi. It looks like it's on Popcorn Flicks. I've never checked out Popcorn Flicks before.
Okay.
But there's a Shout Factory TV subscription.
Well, and also there's a Stan Winston documentary that I was looking at. So Stan Winston, I assume this is one of his early jobs.
Okay.
He has a credit in the makeup department. It just says Gargoyle Makeup. There's a documentary about Stan Winston when Shout released Pumpkinhead. That documentary is part of the Pumpkinhead DVD.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's pretty cheesy makeup, I would say. Bernie Casey looks truly terrifying in his makeup.
Well, I mean, this is 1972.
Yeah, can't expect much.
It's the year I was born.
Right, exactly. Gosh, Scott Glenn looks young, and yet the face is still like a freaking catcher's mitt.
We will have to talk in depth about Scott Glenn. We will have to. Hey, read this off, by the way.
An anthropologist / paleontologist and his daughter, while traveling through the southwestern U.S., stumble upon a colony of living, breathing gargoyles. That's it.
That's it? Wow. I'm looking at a description. This is from Real Good, REEL Good.
Okay.
This is kind of like tells you where you can stream it. And it actually says...
Contradictory.
After receiving word about a mysterious carcass / skeleton unearthed in the Arizona desert, a father and his daughter decide to remove it from the burial grounds for further study.
Great idea.
Once they do so, they, as well as the town, are besieged by a colony of gargoyles living in some nearby caverns.
Well, besieged. I mean, there's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
So.
And wait, this description, though...
Makes more sense, or...
Well, it's missing the fact that he's a paleontologist. Yeah. It sounds like just a guy and his daughter are like, hey, let's go dig this up. Hey, go check it out.
What I thought you were saying earlier is that they just happen to hit a gargoyle, and that's what drives the rest of the movie. Not that they're looking for a gargoyle. We'll see when we watch it.
We will have to see. It's been a minute.
That would be crazy if he just manages to hit a gargoyle. In was it daytime? Do you remember that scene?
I have vague memories of it being day and night.
Yeah, so. Night one of those weird things where they like turn the contrast down. Yeah, I see that description too. Interesting.
All right. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. I have so much I want to say right now that I'm going to save.
There's a lot.
Just from the cast.
Yeah. There's a lot. His daughter has been in some interesting things. Her name is Jennifer Salt.
It's not Veruca Salt's mom.
Not that I know of. She was on Soap. Right. Do with that what you will. Weren't we just talking about Soap?
Who probably.
I think David Warner had a guest appearance or something.
All right. Solid work this week.
I think maybe Gargoyles is my Dark Night of the Scarecrow, you know? I mean, like the first time that we saw horror stuff was like made for TV stuff that really it's on TV, but it's pretty freaking scary.
It left an impact that.
Right.
Yes, definitely. I was seeking it out as I grew older.
Yeah. At Comic-Cons and
just trying to find bootleg copies of.
And I love TV. Don't worry, guys. It's not going to become a strictly TV movie podcast, which it has been for.
We are not limited to even our own parameters we've set for.
Yeah. I mean, if we kept ourselves, we would miss out on so much.
Mm-hmm. And we've got so much more to talk about.
Can we talk about Billy Crystal?
Only if I could sing Michael McDonald songs.
Okay.
Anytime you bring him up, that's what's going to pop in my head.
Because of the running scare.
Oh, really? You think?
Okay.
All right.
Just when are we going to start that Running Scared podcast?
It's long overdue.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up with saying, hey, please visit our website. Check out our blog posts. I got the movie links up there. Every week that we release a movie, I'm going to have a link so you can find it somehow. And there's even links to movies that I just talk about. Like I will put a link up there for Absurd.
Of course.
For those listeners who are just adamant about keeping up with what stupid shit I'm talking about.
They're Tim Kornman bullshit completed. So if you're in that crowd,
please make up an acronym as you wish.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. And please visit our merch shop. Hey, that's our only income for this podcast so far.
Yeah.
We were looking to grow things. So if you have some ideas for us, just throw them our way. We'll be anxious to hear from you. Please drop us a line. You can reach us at the Moratorium website and
we're on Twitter,
Facebook group, and Instagram. Don't forget Instagram because
all the socials.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
No.
MySpace.
Oh, MySpace? Is that still running?
We've got a pretty cool MySpace. It's just green text on black background. I thought it looked cool.
All right.
I ordered a couple of our shirts. So
you did
my
do that?
wife and I, they're on their way.
My new ones were just shipped. Hopefully I'll get them this next week. Kind of excited about that. I actually bought a purple shirt.
Oh, interesting.
Purple with ice green. I really like it. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's going to really pop.
I've got to see that. Well, my brother-in-law bought a tank top, and I posted on Instagram. He's proud of it. It looks good. It looks really good.
Awesome. I guess I don't follow you on Instagram, or I would have known this.
What are you doing?
We talk to each other enough.
Exactly.
I don't need to follow you, do I?
No. Let's keep that one portion of our lives separate. All right.
But feel free to email us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com.
Please
throw out
email
your comments, questions, concerns. If you want to correct me on everything Cardassian and or Kardashian.
That was, when you said that, it was,
that was classic.
Cornmanism.
Can you please make up David Warner as a Kardashian/Cardassian?
I'm going to get one of those wraps for my truck. You know how they just like put a big decal on it? As for that, David Warner as a Kardashian.
I look forward to that. Yeah.
Kardashian? Anyway. Okay.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up.
We did it again.
Got anything else excited to say about Class of 1999?
No. Just go out and watch Class of 1984. It's probably better. I don't know.
I did watch a little scene with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Looking really young in the men's restroom when they were trying to do a drug deal. And Harry King bursts in and all the guys are acting like they're taking a leak.
Right.
And he finds a baggie of whatever drugs that they were selling or using in the urinal and just picks it up out of the urinal and shakes it off.
Oh, come on.
Oh, wow.
That's gross. Michael J. Fox.
All right. Well, let's wrap this bitch up.
Okay.
Until next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What do you want to say something, podcast?
It sounded like you kicked him.
You've been listening to The Yarn Wall, an MT Cornfield production. Tune in next week for the 1972 made-for-TV horror, dare I say, masterpiece that is Gargoyles. You can watch Gargoyles for free on YouTube, Tubi, and other platforms. Again, please like, share, and subscribe, then rinse and repeat. We appreciate your support. If you have any movie suggestions, or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
He's literally spanked them into unconsciousness.